Welcome to the Power of Purpose with me, Anton NM. Today it's a privilege and honor to be with our President of Council of Churches in Zambia, and we just thought of taking this opportunity. The past 2 days has been an amazing to be with him, and when you recognize where the mantle is, the wisdom, you don't want to miss an opportunity. And today was the last day. He made me cry. And he prayed and he spoke. Now, even if it's few words, you know when the heart speaks. You know when the leaders speak. They speak from the heart and they move you into another dimension. So today we'll be having a conversation on some of the challenging things in these days that we are in. Bishop, it is an honor and a privilege to be with you.
Thank you.
In a very short, as the president of the Council of Churches, I've just known you for, or met you for 2-3 days, and you have inspired me. You can share with a lot of young people coming behind you. We have a moral challenge. And what would you say in that regard to Africa and to the nation?
I just want also to say thank you to you, that I can be an inspiration even within a short space of time. The subject that you are bringing on board is a very critical subject. The moral decay within our society, our communities, coming from the younger generation. I want to say what made us to be who we are today is the mentorship. We are people that we looked unto, people that were able to sacrifice their own time. But one advantage that was there, as these people were available, you needed also to be available. I think the generation that we are in, we are seeing a gap in terms of availability.
Yes.
And this gap has to be bridged.
Yeah.
Because it is very, very important. If you are to make it in life, you cannot make it alone. A person cannot operate within a vacuum, but within a specific space. And so, if we are to see our young people build on their morality and the morals that are decaying, one thing that you need to do, define yourself as a young person.
Yeah.
You are not everyone. You are unique. I want to give an example. Growing up in a community which everyone didn't want to go to school, I had to define myself, what I wanted to be in life. And so I was not everyone. I had to separate myself and begin to walk in the purpose that I defined for myself. And here I am today, that I'm able to inspire others because of that determination. And it is the determination that is the key to success. And if we are to work on our morals, begin to respect yourself as a person. It starts with you. Begin to respect yourself. Begin to see value in yourself before others are able to see value in you. It is you. You are marketing yourself. You are a product. And this product is shaped by your character. And so no one can define your character. You have to define it yourself. And so when you are asking me to say, these challenging times that we are in, which are informed with technology,
Yes.
you need to say, what is it that I want to do in life?
Yeah.
And immediately you know the purpose of your life, you begin to safeguard your own morals.
The other thing, Mr. President, is that as much as we as young people are trying to emulate and be led, we used to be raised up by also a church, the voice of the church. But today when you talk about mentorship, discipleship, I remember the days we started ministry, we went through years of discipleship.
Right.
But today you have the overnight prophets, and you know, they come and they do all kind of things, and young people are looking at that without mentorship, without guidance. How do we now move as young people when you see all these prophets or pastors who are just raised up, no discipleship, no training, and no accountability?
I think that is a very critical question. If you look at the times that we are in, if one is to make it in life, you have to have principles. And the principles are very critical. You're talking about the church has also gone astray from its own norms. That within the church, we are no longer raising the Joshuas. Within the church, the Joshuas cannot find the Moses because the Moses has also become sophisticated. I think with the quest of everyone wanting to be rich, I think the coming of the prosperity gospel has destroyed a lot of young men and women, those that seek to be in ministry. We begin to define our spirituality by the material wealth that we have.
Okay.
But I want to challenge each one of us that when you look at the core, it is an inner thing. It is defined by an inner conviction, an inner encounter. And so to me, I want to say, you need to be real. Be yourself. There is a lot of imitation amongst the young people.
Yeah.
You speak the language that is not yours. You speak and you follow that person. Develop your own brand. People should know you by who you are, because you are making an identity in society. So the question that you're trying to say that how can we do it? I think time has come as the church that we begin to mentor the young generation.
Yes.
We begin to, if we don't mentor the young generation, then we are doomed.
Yeah.
Because there'll be no one to take up this mentor. Look at the life of Moses, and when you talk about, we talk about Joshua.
Joshua, yes.
Look at that. He took years. Joshua took years of preparation. I think the young people nowadays, they don't love preparations. They just love quick things.
Yes.
Preparation is important in life. So Joshua was under a preparation for a longer time through observation. Being sent, he was being introduced to that leadership. And when time came for Moses to die, he had no problems because he knew that someone was trained. As leaders, the way I am, I think my time has come that before I am called to glory, I begin to mentor a generation. Because if I do not do this, then I should not blame the young people. I should blame myself for not being available. But also as the older generation, we have become too busy. We have become competitors of the younger generation. Instead of directing them and guiding them, we are also competing with the younger generation. And we cannot do it because you as a young person, you have the energy,
Yes.
you have the strength. I should come to terms to say, I think my time has come. Why not pass on this baton? But we are able to see within an African continent and the world beyond, we the elders are not ready to release our mentorship. And this is a challenge. And the young people are looking at us and saying, why are they doing this? Tomorrow it will be them on another generation. I think we should be ready. When you have done your race, why not pass it on?
The other issue, Reverend or Bishop, is that the church used to be a voice. The voice and the reflection for political leaders. And at the current moment, when you look across SADC, there is maybe nothing or very little that the church is having a strong voice to hold government accountable. And this is, we are speaking as SADC.
Right.
So what has brought the church to be so weak? Because when you look at the history of South Africa, the church was involved. The history
Right.
of Namibia, the church was involved.
Right.
Be it Zambia, many countries.
Right.
Even the liberation or independence of these countries, church was somehow in the forefront. And in the recent development, you see the church losing its voice and its pillars in terms of standing up for the weak, for the poor. What has gone wrong with the voice of the church?
I think what has gone wrong is we are departing from our initial calling.
Mm.
Why were you called?
Yeah.
And I think we need to answer this question
Mm-hmm.
as the church, but also as ministers, Christian leaders.
Yes.
You are talking about us losing our voice. We are losing our voice because also the church has stopped being accountable to itself. How do you put someone accountable when you cannot do the same?
Yes.
We are able to hear where the church is able to engage into corrupt practices. The morals of the church have gone down. We are just saying it. Someone will wake up, today I am a bishop. Someone will wake up, today I am a pastor. The following day you hear that person has defiled someone. How would the community be able to trust us?
Yes.
When we ourselves, we can't trust ourselves. And when you look at the church, because of not being financially stable and sustainable, we have begun to run for money.
We compromise.
We are compromising our stand and our position. And we have allowed politics to enter the church. We give politicians the pulpit. We give them a special place when they're just like any other ordinary member.
When they're supposed to be your members.
And so we give them a special place. And once we do that, our motives are also not right. Because at the end of it all, you're expecting something. So to me, I'm calling the church that let us go back to our original church. The church which was self-supporting, self-governing, self-sustaining. The church which shouldn't be lazy. The church has become lazy today.
Very much.
Where you just tell someone, sell your house, because in the next 2 months, a greater blessing is coming. Sometimes we have misled the populace, where someone has trusted us, but at the end of it all, they are crying. So the church has started manipulating the society for it to be where it is today. And so politicians are watching us. And so if they want to hold us into accountability, we can't stand because we have compromised. The biggest issue, the church has compromised. It has left its norms. Instead of preaching salvation, instead of being the church that has to preach the commandment that we are given, that we need to go and make disciples of all nations.
Yes.
What are we doing? We are just telling people, sow a seed. God will bless you tomorrow. I see something in your life. And because people are desperate, because of the economical challenges, whatever a man of God says, they'll follow. Especially on us, the clergy. People trust us. And so whatever we say is the gospel truth. And so we begin to manipulate people even when God hasn't spoken. We need to go back to the original call that God called us. Why were you called?
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Your last words, I would want to ask your endurance. You were called in the early days, from your childhood as a leader. What has made you to stand and endure to this moment? And this is your closing to young people like myself, and we would want to learn 1 or 2 principles that have made you stand throughout these generations.
May I say from the beginning, before being called into ministry, I think one principle that I developed that which I want to achieve in life, I will go for it. And as at the center of my life, determination has been a pivotal thing. When I'm determined to do something, I'm just determined, and nothing shall stop me. And even when I was called, I have gone through a number of challenges, a number of difficult times where I was rejected, that I cannot make it in ministry. But I had an inner conviction that if God is able to call someone, it's the same God who is able also to call me. If God is able to protect someone, He is the same God that is able to protect me. And hence, despite the many challenges in life, I have believed that God created me for a purpose. And that's my challenge to the young people and to the world there. Why were you created? What is the meaning of life? What purpose? And what do you want to leave when you are gone? The legacy that you want to set, both yourself. If God blesses you to your children, what legacy do you want to set for them? So amid this pain and suffering, because you have a purpose, and God directing you in every path, God will always make you to be an overcomer. Put your life, trust that God is there. Believe that God is able to change your story. Look at the many people that have succeeded in life. They did not begin where they are today. They had to sacrifice, yet knowing that one day my story shall be different. Your story can change. Despite how bad it is, there is a God who watches you. And if you follow your inner conviction, nothing shall stop you. And people will admire you, and you set an example. I thank you.
Thank you, Bishop.
Great.
It's a blessing.
Great.